Welcome, everyone, to my presentation, Clearing Anxiety with Leading Edge Technology. Hope you're having a great day. So, today I'm going to be talking about a topic which is definitely of interest to virtually everyone. It's because we're with the stressful world going on right now. There's stress everywhere. I want to tell you a little background about the Chari Center. We're a new paradigm in medicine. We spend quality time with each person. And what we do especially is we find the root causes, not just the symptoms, and create a personal program for your unique needs. And we've been doing this for 16 years. We are featured on the Learning Channel and even interviewed on local cable TV, local and national radio programs. We were featured in the Malibu Chronicle, the Canyon News, Santa Barbara Life magazine. This is us on the cover of the Santa Barbara Life magazine. We were also have worked with Emmy Award-winning and Golden Globe-nominated actors, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame musicians, #1 best-selling authors, and leaders in the self-development field. And worked in everyone from age 18 up to age 90. Our main motto is to find what works and works fast. So a little bit about my background. As I was growing up, I was bullied as a kid. And while other kids were playing and having fun, I was actually in the library finding ways of how to build my self-confidence, my self-esteem, my self-worth. Anything I could do to help with that. And I eventually found some techniques here and there, but that led me on this quest and journey for looking for technologies ultimately that could lead me to boost my self-esteem and help me have the confidence to deal with those challenging situations. And I did discover that. And that's what we incorporated at the Chari Center of Health. So I want to ask you all a question here. Are you stressed, or have you ever been stressed in your life? I know I have. I'm raising my own hand. So sometimes people don't talk about stress as very much effect, but stress is can have a huge impact on us because stress is linked to the 6 leading causes of death: heart disease, cancer, lung ailments, and etc. It is a very, very important issue. And up to 90% of doctor-related visits in the USA may be triggered by stress-related illness, according to the CDC, Centers for Disease Control. We put an article, I actually wrote an article in the Malibu Chronicle talking about technologies that release the root cause of stress. And that's what I'll be talking about today. So you're in the right place if you've ever felt overwhelmed, exasperated, like, I can't take this anymore. Or if you felt you're at wit's end and you're just said, that's it. This is it. Is there anything that can help my anxiety, my stress? Or if you've felt emotionally triggered or emotionally reactive to someone says something to you and you just fly off the handle, or you just get triggered inside and you're fuming, even if you don't say anything. And it happens even before you even know you're having this feeling. Or you get emotionally upset. Somebody says something that's hurtful to you, and it immediately triggers this feeling of emotional upset. Or you have trouble focusing and concentrating. You're not able to remember what you did a minute ago. Or you're just stressed out with complete anxiety. You're just like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? You're just totally stressed out and anxious. And even if you have trouble losing weight, a lot of the times we follow all the programs, do all the right things, and it's still hard for us to lose weight because of some hidden emotional patterns. So what is stress? One definition is stress is physical and emotional tension. And when you're stressed, what's happening? You're either worrying about the past, something that already happened, or worrying about the future, something that hasn't happened yet. But what's the commonality here? Both situations, that is the past or the future, are things we can't control. Why? Because we're not focusing on what's possible right now. And what's happening when you're stressed? You're in a state of constant tension all the time. You can't think straight. What are some symptoms? Maybe you can relate to these. Feeling tired and wired, feeling fatigued during the day, just can't get the energy to get things done or think straight. Or you turn to food or alcohol to unwind. That's your only way to unwind, let's say. We have difficulty relaxing or even difficulty sleeping. Mood swings, one day you're happy, one day you're depressed, it's just up and down. So this presentation is for you if you have relationship issues. For example, you draw the same type of relationship or even life situations over and over and over again. The people may look totally different, but the personality or the situations are the same. Or you have addictions of some sort, maybe eating or drinking, smoking, anything else, even emotionally. Or if you feel emotionally distressed, there's just something that you're not able to get out of your head or that really upset you. Maybe recently that happened and you're just not able to get that out of your head. It keeps circling in your mind. Or even if you repeat the same habitual patterns over and over again, and that's what I call self-sabotage. And you're well-meaning. And you even say this to yourself, I can't believe I do the same thing over and over again. Attract the same kind of person in a relationship over again, or maybe business situation, or life situation, or family situation. And you may be a brilliant person. It has nothing to do with that. It's an internal pattern, which I'll talk about shortly. So the benefits of my program include enjoying happier relationship with your friends, your family, and your business partners in all areas, Increase self-confidence, greater peace of mind. Everybody's always looking for greater peace of mind. That's the ultimate, isn't it? Well, this program can help you get there, and it's a wonderful place to be. Greater joy and happiness in life. Just enjoying every minute and just being able to laugh and enjoy those special moments and being in the present with your joy and happiness. That's very important. That's one of the benefits. Releasing self-sabotage patterns, which I talked about earlier. We make the same decisions sometimes over and over again, even though we think we're doing something totally different. This program can help release those patterns. Releasing addictive patterns in all areas. And also improving your mental focus and clarity, which is very important, so that you can get more done in less time and have more free time then to enjoy and relax. So today you're going to discover how to quickly shift the number one cause of stress and anxiety, the two hidden causes of all of our pain and suffering, and a leading edge technology program that can literally transform your life, as it has for many others that I've worked with. So what is stress? What's another definition of stress? Stress is your reaction to the meaning you give to events. But the source of stress is actually based on your perception. So what is your perception? Perception is the meaning you give to an event. Is it something that makes you happy and full of joy? Or is it something that's sad or scary? According to Dr. Lee Cowden, board-certified cardiologist, he said perception is defined as the process by which an organism detects and interprets information from the external world by our sensory receptors. In other words, he said perception is how we see, hear, feel about something somebody's telling us or how we interpret it, smell, taste, and interpret the information. Does it make us freak out or get upset or angry? Or does it make us upset or sad? Or does it make us really laugh? Totally different reactions. It's how we interpret it. Cellular biologists now recognize that the environment, which is the external universe, and our internal physiology, and more importantly, our perception of the environment, directly control the activity of our genes. This is a profound discovery. So perceptions influence our behavior, whether we're unhappy or whether we're full of joy. Dr. Bruce Lipton, who's a cellular biologist and author of the book Biology of Belief, as well as a former associate professor at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine, has done pioneering research on cloned human cells at Wisconsin and Stanford University School of Medicine. And he precedes the revolutionary field of epigenetics, the new science of how environment and perception actually can control our genes. A profound discovery. See, he wondered what would happen if you put identical cloned stem cells in totally different environments. The cells have identical, so you would expect that they would grow identically. So he did an experiment in 1967, and he found that by changing the environment that all the same stem cells were in, the stem cells would actually grow to form different things. For example, in one petri dish, some stem cells formed bone, other stem cells formed muscle, and in another petri dish, the stem cells formed fat. The same stem cells that look identical form totally different things. So that's not what scientists would expect for sure. In other words, by he found that by changing the environment, the cells actually grew differently. So if the genes don't control cell growth, then what does? Dr. Lipton concluded that the environment the cells are in controls the cells, not the actual genes in the cells, like we've been taught for so many years. In other words, by changing the environment that the cells were in, the cells would grow very, very differently. So what does this mean to you? It means the fate of your cells is literally determined by your environment, not your genes. So we can now say that you are controlled by perception of your environment, not by your actual genes. This is profound. So how you view a situation literally determines your reaction and thus your result. Is it something that frustrates you or something that gets you excited? So where do we get these? How do we get these perceptions? Well, we download our perceptions from our environmental experiences. Like in school, if we're being told that we're stupid or we have to sit in a corner or we have to write on the board many times or we're yelled at or punished for something that we felt was unfair. Perception, beliefs, and behavior, according to Robert Williams and Dr. Bruce Lipton, your perception can rewrite your genes. Your perceptions rewrite your behavior. Your beliefs control your perceptions to rewrite your genes and behavior. And so your beliefs are your filter of your reality. Your beliefs determine your biological and behavioral reality. Your beliefs. So in other words, we're controlled by our beliefs because our beliefs adjust our physiology and our beliefs adjust the selection of genes. So our thoughts are really powerful, whether they're positive or negative. They're equally positive, except in opposite directions. So positive thoughts have been shown to positively affect our health, success, well-being, and happiness. However, on the other side, negative thoughts can also negatively influence our health, success, well-being, and happiness. So our perceptions are formed by our thoughts, experiences, and emotions. And our experiences and emotions form our beliefs. And the National Science Foundation said that our brains produce as many as 12,000 to 50,000 thoughts per day, but can go up to 70,000 thoughts per day. And that's okay, except that it's been estimated that upwards of 70 to 80% of our daily thoughts are actually negative. So you can see how these patterns can actually affect our life. You know, how we, if we feel shamed or worried all the time or fearful or guilty. So this negative thinking impacts all areas of our life, like our health, our happiness, our relationship, our finances, everything. So where are all of these negative thoughts coming from? And how can we shift our negative thinking? Let me give you an example here. Let's say you're driving down the street and somebody cuts you off abruptly. How rude of them. Well, what happens? In that situation where someone cut you off, you might get really upset and chase them down and show them that what they did was wrong. Or if you actually looked at yourself and said, why did I react so like that? This person triggered me, but why did I react like that? Or let's say somebody breaks up with you, which was horrible. There's for no apparent reason they break up with you in a relationship that seemed to be going well. No explanation. So you got triggered by that. So why did you get so upset? It must have been what that person did, right? Or was it something else? Well, in analyzing this, I found out that our unresolved emotions come from a previous event that are actually brought up. So although we think it's that driver that cut us off or the person that broke up the relationship with us, it actually goes back even further than that. It actually channels right back to our childhood. And that's where these unresolved emotions get triggered. Where do these unresolved emotions come from then? Well, they come from our subconscious mind. So how does the subconscious mind work then? Well, think of the subconscious mind like a recorder. I have an old-fashioned reel-to-reel recorder on the left, and I have a cassette recorder on the right, which is probably still outdated. But it could be an MP3 player, a CD player. But what it does is it records and replays, records and replays. And you may be upset with the thoughts that might be in the subconscious, but there's no one in the machine. So you can yell at the machine for playing those thoughts. Like if you yelled at your tape recorder for playing some songs you didn't like, is the tape recorder going to care? No. The only difference is this will record and replay as well. That's what your subconscious does. It's a supercomputer that does this, like a computer. It's not non-judgmental. It just records and plays. We can transform our lives and control our lives by changing and controlling our perceptions, literally. And our bodies can also be changed as we change our thinking, because we ourselves are part of our body. The subconscious mind is running 95 to 99% of the time, literally all the time, when you're not even thinking about it. Yeah, so it has tremendous control over our biology as well. Positive thoughts in your conscious mind are overpowered by negative thoughts. So it's like a balanced scale, like which one has more thoughts, better thoughts? Is it the negative one, or is the negative thoughts more overweighing the positive thoughts? So even though you constantly have positive thoughts in your conscious mind, the subconscious mind, which may have many more negative thoughts, overrides those positive thoughts with doubts, fear, shame, guilt, regret. And that's what I have there on the right, this CD player. But how do you change these negative subconscious thoughts to positive thoughts? Well, let's look at your subconscious mind. This arrow shows the conscious mind, which is the iceberg above the water. Think of an iceberg in Alaska. The top part of this iceberg, the tiny part, is the conscious mind above the water. And this arrow now is pointing, the second arrow is pointing to a subconscious mind, which is the iceberg below the water. Notice the difference. The iceberg part below the water is huge, but you just don't see it. Most people don't see it at all. I'm just showing you a side view of it, but if you're looking at it from above the ocean, all you'd see is the top part of the iceberg, your conscious mind. But the subconscious mind is really running the show. You can think of your subconscious mind as the producer and the director and screenwriter, writing the script, directing the script, and you are acting out the whole script, the entire script. And you don't even know you're doing it. So the conscious mind essentially is like the actor, and you are the actor. You're acting it out with full emotion. And if you saw yourself on screen, it's an incredible performance, except that you didn't know that you're the actor acting out these emotions. So your subconscious mind is running 95 to 99% of the time, just like these gears rotating, just keeps rotating and going on and on, even when you're sleeping, all the time. Think about this. You drive, to a distant location 3 hours away. You're talking to a friend, listening to the radio, looking at the road, adjusting the steering wheel left to right subtly. All these things you're doing, and over 3 hours, if I asked you, what are all the different adjustments you made? You say, I have no idea. And it didn't even seem like it took that long. It seemed like it took less than an hour, and even though I drove 3 hours. How could that be possible? Because your subconscious was taking you to your location, as well as doing all those different things in the car that you were doing unconsciously, as it's running your own biology. Thank God it's running your biology, all your organs, your circulation, everything. So it's running like these gears 99% of the time. So think about it this way. Your mind creates your thoughts govern your beliefs, and your beliefs guide your actions. So your actions create your life. I talked about self-sabotage earlier. Self-sabotage is composed of negative thoughts and past subconscious programming. That's why we do these things over and over again. It's like a past subconscious programming that's actually creating these negative thoughts that are causing us to take these actions. So it's been shown that positive thoughts can positively influence your health, your healing, your success, and your joy in your life. But in the same respect, in the same way, negative thoughts can literally sabotage your health, just like the stop sign here. It stop you in your tracks. And literally all the success you're having, and no matter how good it is, can just stop you in your tracks. You can see this person being pointed to, being blamed for something that they didn't do, and the shock on this person. That's subconsciously where it starts from our subconscious. So the key is to change your focus on what you can control, like what happened in the past or what hasn't happened yet in the future or that could happen, to what's happening right now, to what you can control. What can you control? You can control how you feel in any given moment, like right now. That's what you can control. So there are, as I mentioned earlier, I found that there are two hidden causes of all of our pain and suffering. And what are these two hidden causes? One is our unresolved ancestral programs, and number two is the environment we're raised in. I'll elaborate on those. Our unresolved ancestral programs are ancestral imprints that I call, or emotional traits and patterns, habitual patterns from our parents and our grandparents. These are traits of how they saw the world, how they reacted to the world, how they reacted to the everything, the decisions they made, how they looked at life. Then we have the environment we're raised in. Was it a loving, nurturing, supportive, joyful environment? Or was it threatening, fearful, angry, violent, terrifying environment? That can have a huge impact on our whole immune system too. So these two hidden causes can literally affect all areas of your life. What areas? Your relationship, your finances, your health, your confidence, and your career. Nothing is left out here. Because if you were brought up in a very unhappy environment or fearful or scary or angry or threatening, your body goes into protection mode. When your body's in protection mode, your immune system basically shuts down. And this happens since childhood. And that's why those people who were grown up in that environment usually have a lot of immune system issues. They get sick all the time, have colds all the time, have the flu all the time, no matter how many medications they take. And then there's other people that were brought up in a wonderful, loving, nurturing environment. And if that was the case, if that was hopefully the case, and it's not always the case, then their immune system would be very strong and solid because their body isn't going into protection mode. In the protection mode, it tries to conserve the basic necessity, the environment of the whole body. So you're basically running away from the fearful response. Your adrenals are on overdrive, and but if it's loving and nurturing, your body goes in expansive states and expands and grows and heals, and you have a super immune system. But not all of us have that. So what's the solution to all of this? If we didn't grow up in that environment, or we didn't have that kind of parents and grandparents that were nurturing? Perception reframing. This is a program I have that uses an advanced biocommunication technology that's been used worldwide. And with that biocommunication technology, I use the sound of your voice. Why do I use the sound of your voice? Because I have found that your voice is the most accurate reflection of your perception, which is how you see the world, or the meaning you give to events. As I mentioned earlier, what are your perceptions based on? It's based on your thoughts, your experiences, your emotions, your memories, and your beliefs. All of those things form your perceptions of how you see the world, and then how you react to the world, and the decisions you make, and what you bring into your life. And this can work in all areas of your life, this reframing process with using biocommunication technology in all areas of your life, performance, relationships, financial, every area. So in a session with me, what occurs is I have a client who sits across from me with the headset, with the mic, and they place their hand on this biocommunication hand cradle. So what I do is I listen to their voice, and I create voice maps where I can analyze where the stress is in their voice based on what I hear in the energy from their voice, not actually the words they're saying. And I can trace it down to the root cause of where the subconscious blocks are and help clear them very easily. So in recording their voice, I get what's called a voice map. And in the voice map, I can actually see where the energy is blocked in the person's energy field and where they're holding those emotions in their body. And they're maybe totally, and they will be totally unconscious of these patterns. And because this is from the subconscious limiting patterns, the one that's running the show, the screenwriter and director. I can literally see into that. And then most importantly, help clear those limiting patterns. Here's an example of a voice map showing a person's mother, father, mother's mother, mother's father, father's mother, father's father, and the person's own voice map where it says you. And what I do is I compare the person's own voice map to that of their ancestors, and I can actually get a percentage match of who they mostly closely match, on who they downloaded the most traits from. And then we can see where the blockages in their life were. Oftentimes, what I have found is 95 to 99% of the time, we are acting like somebody else. We are either acting like our parents, grandparents, or a combination of the two, and we're not even aware of it. Oftentimes, I'll see somebody, I'll say, do you realize you're acting just like your grandfather? Meaning that you have the same personality of him, you make the same decisions like him, you think like him, you walk like him. And this person might not have even ever met his great grandfather. Or they may act like their father, or they may act like both of them. And that person themselves will say, no, I don't. I don't act anything like them. I'll say, yeah, you do. But that same person I'm telling will tell someone else that they're acting like their mother. And that other person they're telling won't believe it at all. Because they're acting it out so they don't realize they're doing it because it's all unconscious and subconscious. And that's what this program will help clear. These unconscious patterns that we're not even aware of that we're doing. So why can the life transformation technology program that I offer be so profound? Because what I found is the subconscious mind determines your success and happiness in life. That subconscious part, that huge monstrosity below the water in that iceberg, is running the show in your life, whether you like it or not. And that's determining your success and happiness. If you just look at your life, that's what's running it. But by changing these subconscious programs that are running like an MP3 player over and over again, you can literally change your life. And that's what I do. So since your perception creates your reality, by changing your perception, which is how you see the world, how you react to the world, you literally create a whole new reality that you've never created before. A beautiful, wonderful reality. Here's a testimonial from a woman who said, after working with me, she has a clearer mind, greater creativity, confidence, and opportunities. She said mental blocks instantly vanished as if they never existed. She has greater mental clarity and focus, but also greater enthusiasm and passion for her life and dreams, and especially her confidence in performing. So all this is possible, she said, because of technology. And she realizes there's no limits in her life. And she's a songwriter and an author, and she's able to go back into her profession doing what she loves to do. Another woman said, life-changing. It came to my attention at the right time and turned out to be the best thing I've ever done for myself. I'm very grateful for the work I did. So that was wonderful. So today you learned the number one cause of stress and anxiety and the two hidden causes of all of our pain and suffering. However, the problem is these patterns, these ancestral patterns from your parents and grandparents, as well as the environment you're raised in, are still embedded in your subconscious mind. I explained how, the theory part of how we can clear this and how my program can help you, but these patterns are still there in your subconscious. So in order to help turn today's immediately useful information to lasting information, I offer my 5-step LTT Life Transformation Technology program. And that includes clearing negative limiting ancestral patterns, clearing negative limiting environmental experiences, enhancing your self-confidence, your self-worth, and your self-esteem, tapping into your inner peace and power, and bringing forth your true gifts and talents of who you are and what you have to offer to the world. Another woman had just told me that she went from fear to trust, and it was amazing. She said synchronistic events started occurring after her working with me in her life and in her relationships. She couldn't believe it was even possible. And she said before she worked with me, she felt constricted in her relationship and in herself. And now after working with me, things flow easily and they flow very smoothly. And now she's gotten into a new relationship and she has trust and she couldn't believe that she could attract a relationship like that. And she said, my relationship with everyone in my life are evolving in ways I couldn't believe possible. The patterns we've all been stuck with in life are just opening to new levels. So she said it's been incredible for her. So you change your life. You can change your life by changing your subconscious programs. It's that simple. Because your brain will hold on to all of these emotions. And unless you clear them at the subconscious level, they'll just keep staying there. That's why it'll never change. No matter how you consciously say, okay, I'm going to say affirmations and all of those things, that's wonderful. From the conscious mind, that tiny part of the iceberg above the water. But what about that monstrosity below the water? That's not getting, those affirmations are not going in there. So this is where this program can bypass the conscious mind and actually connect the conscious and subconscious mind together so they communicate with each other, which is what I do. So imagine your life 30 to 60 days from now, struggling on your own. What would be different in your life? If those subconscious programs are there, and I guarantee you they are, it's going to keep repeating over and over again. So you're actually investing in your happiness and your life fulfillment. What is that worth to you? Because if you don't invest in yourself, tell me who will? Taking care of yourself, I'm telling you, is the greatest gift you can ever give yourself, your family, and your loved ones. You're actually changing history because when you change yourself from within, you're changing how you react to the world, but you're even changing your world and what you bring into your life, into your family and friends. This Dr. Janet Hope had said that she's seen people improve dramatically, amazing, improving depression, anxiety, sleep problems, and interpersonal relationships. And she said, I'm very impressed with the efficiency and effectiveness of the work done by Deepak Chari, myself. I've seen people improve dramatically in as few as 1 to 2 sessions. It's amazing to see the power of this work as improving in depression, anxiety, sleep problems. We're very fortunate to have this program available in our community. And she's a medical doctor. So this was quite a wonderful affirmation of what I'm doing. What's the process of the program? The process is to first clear the limiting ancestral imprints of your parents and grandparents, as well as the childhood experiences. And the number of sessions that are required, well, we first start with the initial foundational sessions to address the ancestral imprints and your childhood experiences, which have impacted your life. And you will definitely notice from the foundational sessions a noticeable difference in your perception. I start with these foundational sessions with the ancestral imprints and your environmental experiences because when I do that, it creates a permanent change in your life. How long is each session? The first session is about an hour and a half, and the follow-up sessions are about an hour after each one. And each session, we have one session scheduled each week. And what are the benefits you can experience from your Life Transformation Technology Program sessions? You'll notice a new shift in your perception, a greater sense of peace. That is something, what does that worth to you to have a greater sense of peace? A greater sense of confidence and self-esteem. Improved relationship with your family, friends, and all your relationships. And confidence to speak in social situations. Sometimes it's awkward in social gatherings to speak confidently. This will definitely help you there. So what is the Life Transformation Technology Program? I have different programs available for everyone. So what I recommend is below this video, you'll see a link in the description area under the video. Please click on the link to sign up for the free 30-minute consultation with me, and I can discuss the best program for you. The link is right below the video. A woman just told me recently that I got off my antidepressants. I have an excitement about life again. She said, since coming to your sessions, I've been able to get off all my antidepressants. I feel much more confident, calm, and peaceful. All the work we've done has made me more aware of the words others are saying. She was before unconscious of them. So she's more aware of the words she's saying, and she's able to let go of the past. There's no emotional charge like there used to be. And all the sessions she's had are causing her to feel grounded, steady, unmoved. Then she said, I never dreamed that I would be able to stop taking antidepressants. I have an excitement about life again. I started running again. It feels so good to do what I used to enjoy. Thank you so much for helping me. And then she said, I know that for the rest of my life, I don't have to look back and feel sad. I can live in the now with happiness. What is that worth? Her life is completely changed. If you're going one direction and you would keep going that direction, if you adjust the rudder of the boat a little bit, you'll go 180 degrees. But that may be towards the life and positive direction that you want to go. You're unconsciously, your rudder on your boat is turned the opposite direction. I'll help turn that rudder on your boat in the positive direction. So you'll literally have a new life and you'll create a new history. So click the link, not in the chat box, click on the link below this video to schedule a free 30-minute consult with me so I can answer any questions you have about this powerful program. The link is literally in the description part below the video. Click on this link so I can talk to you real soon. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I wish you a wonderful day. Hope to talk to you soon. Take care.